welcome to another episode of Power On Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Taylor, and with me, as always, is is Sushi. How you doing? I don't feel like coming up with words today.
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm fine, other than these late night recordings. Gotta do something about it.
Oh, get your game face on. Come on. We're all tired, but we're all going to do it. We're all going to have some fun.
But yes, with us is the other co-host there, Greg. How you doing?
Pretty much the same as you. But yes, as she said, we're going to have fun or die trying, damn it.
I guess.
That's actually that's a bit too much.
Bit excessive.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we have this topic itself kind of, I don't know, this is not really my thing. I will say that now. So I'm going to pass the baton over to you there, Sushi, to kind of talk about what this topic is.
All right, so today's topic, we've decided to take a look at some games and basically put them into different forms of entertainment and see what we can come up with it. And hopefully we have some good ideas and we can have a decent discussion about what we kind of done to manipulate some of these games into different fields for people to be entertained by.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's actually really difficult because especially if you're trying to put RPGs to like another medium such as anime, pretty much most of them have anime series. You'd be amazed. It's just when I was coming up with it, it's just like, oh yeah. Oh, but what about this? No, this has this. No, this has that. So yeah, you had to really think about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think of. I'm really bad about blending different kind of media forms, so this isn't. Don't expect a lot from me. I would say this normally for any episode, but don't expect a lot from me. Period.
I'm a pop culture guy, and I love every form of medium. Sort of the big passion in life, books, movies, anything that to entertain. Just holds my interest.
Not that I don't like it. It's just
I know. I wasn't saying that because it's just for me. So that's why I'm looking forward to doing this topic.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess if that is the case, then why don't you start us off?
Alrighty. I'll actually start off strong. With my favorite series of all time, Suikoden. I've always said the way that it looks, I've always wanted to be this big anime series, and I don't know, I reckon it looked phenomenal because just the way the original games look with the really good sprites, and then you've got the Suiko Gaiden games where you actually get to see the character models up close, and I'd rather those models be animated. So I thought to myself, it'd probably work as a really good anime series. Like the first game could probably run for... Alright, here's some anime 101 for how long series run for. A decent-sized series runs for 26 episodes. Half a series runs for 13, and the high-class animation, as the OVAs, they run for about 3 episodes or more, depending on what happens, and they're like really high quality. And I foresee something like Suikoden 1 running for about 13 episodes, Suikoden 2, definitely double that for a decent 26 episode series. It's just something that I reckon would translate really well to anime just for the art style alone, because you can inject good music and good story into the anime, to the genre. But that's what the artwork sort of separates it from me choosing for it to be live action. I don't think it trans well live action. I'm guessing you could, but I don't know. It just works better as an anime, in my opinion.
It might come off a little tacky if it was live action.
I mean, there's already a live action of the Water Margin, which the game was based on. But
they're actually coming up with kind of what the origins of the whole Suikoden kind of mythos is. They're coming out with a new movie soon, if I remember correctly. So, see the trailer for.
It's interesting because, like I said, I love Suikoden so much, and anything surrounding it, anything that led to its creation, draw the well, the water margin. Yes, that was pretty bad play on words there, but but yeah, just you know, Suikoden is an anime. I'd buy it. I'd watch it. I'd worship it. So, who wants to be the next victim?
How about yourself, though, Sushi?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll go ahead. So I probably took the approach that is completely different than what you guys did, and I took basically anything that could be looked upon as a form of entertainment could be used in this podcast.
Uh-huh.
So I went to the trouble of pretty much thinking of the most ridiculous possible things you could do with a video game franchise. So the first one I have here is Paperboy, the carnival game. So, hey, carnivals can be kinds of entertainment, carnival games. So I've got Paperboy, the carnival game, and basically this would be, there's always that really classic carnival game of throwing baseballs at plates or beer bottles. I think you guys have probably seen this before. And we're going to take that and we're going to put little sort of mailboxes where you have to throw newspapers into them. But the best thing is we're going to have live action actors who are going to be playing some of the stupid roles of that, all those idiot and garbage things that fly at you in the Paperboy series. So while you try to throw a paper into a mailbox, you could have the guy who's doing the leg breakdancing, and he'd like come across and like kick the newspapers out of the way, or you'd have like random lawnmowers that would fly at you, or you'd have all kinds of what was that? The monster that came out of the sewer, like the hand. You'd have like a hand that would pop up and try to knock away your newspapers. It'd be the most frustrating carnival game that's ever been made in the entire world. And to top it all off, as soon as you walk up, the Paperboy theme song will be playing the entire time. So you'd be getting extremely frustrated.
I could already
It'd be
foresee
great.
I could already foresee the carnies in the sewers doing them.
Oh yeah.
Screeching
Jeff.
car sound too. That.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when you crash or something.
Hey Jeff Rowe, you doing the hand today?
It'd be awesome. This would be so easy to set up. The music's so easy to come by. You just get the music, and then all you got to do is basically set up the props and stuff. It'd be awesome. The Paperboy Carnival game. Would you guys be interested in playing the Paperboy Carnival game?
Absolutely not.
I could foresee that poor high school kid that's trying to get his first job and he gets roped into doing that.
It'd be awesome.
It'd probably be awesome. You could probably have, wide smiles the first time he gets that job. A year in, he'd be sad as all hell. Why am I still here? Why am I still getting hit by the same... Why am I still getting hit by the same sack of paper from all these little shits?
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'd love it. I'd play that for sure. I'd probably have no chance at winning it, but it'd be awesome.
This actually might come off as really sad, and I'm going to admit to something. I actually wouldn't be able to play the game because I don't know how to ride a bike. So...
No, there's no bike riding. You just stand in and throw newspapers.
Okay.
Can't ride a bike either there.
Oh, cool.
It'd be a walk-up
Yay.
game. I'd purposely be throwing him as hard as I can at like the breakdance dude, trying to hit him in the nuts and stuff. just trying to smoke him. It'd be worth the money. If you know you're not going to win, you might as well break stuff.
I guess. Be an ass about it.
Hey, they're already being assholes and stealing your money. You have no chance of winning.
How do you know that, though?
Carney law.
Hey, after one round, you'll know that they're trying to stooge you. They're trying to take your money. It'd be awesome.
That's a good idea, Sushi.
Paperboy, the carnival game. All right, with that, to you, Taylor.
All right. I don't know. I just thought of things and then just thought that, I don't know. Whatever. We're just going to go out with this. This is the first one I came up with. Dragon Quest, the musical. So,
There's already Dragon Quest Ballet.
is there?
Yes, that's actually not a joke.
That does not surprise me at all, to be honest. Just because of how stupid. They have fucking Prince of Tennis. Stupid thing that they got going right now. Anywho, Dragon Quest the musical. It would have to be fashioned after Dragon Quest V, just because that's just such an awesome game. And just come up with random music song and dance. I mean, with to the tunes of Dragon Quest themes. That's really all it is. And be very kind of showy kind of thing to an extent.
But
Very
I
jovial.
Very jovial. Well, I don't know about that. It would be kind of jovial, but also just very emotional. I guess you could make it quite emotional. Roller coaster.
I'm trying to remember if memory serves me correct. If they actually had Koichi Sugiyama doing the music for the ballet, that'd be cool if you'd do that for the musical as well. Live.
Oh, I don't know about live. I don't know if he did do the ballet stuff. It's possible it could be, but no, just Dragon Quest the musical. First thing that kind of popped into my head, that you have people dressed up into different Dragon Quest costumes and stuff. It'd be hilarious, because then you'd have, there bound to be mishaps of some sort, knowing if they're like having to wear these giant bulking costumes and stuff.
I feel sorry for the 6-year-old that's riding the slime. There's a slime now. He probably think it's great fun though.
Exactly. So yeah, that was kind of the one that I kind of first thought of there was Dragon Quest the musical. So over to you, Greg.
Take a break from the seriousness of my last one. This is a really funny one that I came up with for some odd reason, because I was trying to look for movies that I'd want to put into games that doesn't have games. Like some of my favorite movies growing up, like stuff like Wayne's World, that has some pretty bad games already. Bill and Ted, I thought didn't have a game, but actually found out it did on the NES.
The NES, yeah.
So I was like, damn. So I looked through, and I remember watching the Angry Video Game Nerds video on Arnold Schwarzenegger video games. So I said to myself, is there a video game of Kindergarten Cop? No, there isn't. Well, this is my entry. Kindergarten Cop, the game on the good old NES. And you got the little mini games, like taking care of the kids, and you have all the 8-bit messages. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. But you got the scene beforehand where he's been playing detective, and you gotta popping the gun, making sure no one touches his car.
Yeah, I'm the party pooper.
My name is Detective John Kimball, and I love my car. And then you got the shootout at the end. So there's your action sequence. But then you've also got to make the kids march and be ready for that pep parade. So that'd be the rhythm part of the game. God forbid.
Right. Do you get to punch that dad too?
Yes. That's that's kind of like the fighting game part of the game. But it's
you got a
really
wrestling part. There's that part where those kids dogpile him, and he goes, "Done!"
Yes. Oh dear.
A training sequence where he picks up that kid by the overalls.
Yes. Stop being kid lunches. Stop it.
You'd have to have a junior sequel.
Oh God. Oh dear. At least Kindergarten Cop would be playable. I don't know about Junior.
Junior would be one of those Sega CD make my video type games.
Yeah, unfortunately right about that. So yeah, that's like the most random of my list, but I thought, in an age where Arnie would have, all these movies adaptation, well, there's one that fell in the cracks, but I can completely understand why. So with that, back to Sushi.
All right. So my next one here is a pretty straightforward one. I'm not going to go too much into detail with it, but I decided to take the wonderful game Chrono Trigger and change it into a choose-your-own-adventure book, which were just kind of crappy books that sucked pretty bad as kids, but probably I think Chrono Trigger would have some potential to actually make this work, where if anyone has never read one, basically you start an adventure in a book, and as you get to a certain page, it tells you to turn to another page, which is later on in the book, and you try to build your own adventure, and it often ends in usually some poor writing, or it just ends like, and you fall into a pit and you die, or something stupid like that. It's very hard to get a quote-unquote good ending in these books because there was just so many pitfalls all the time of like, okay, in here, and then you got shot, or you go here, and then you were stabbed, and then you went here, and then nothing happened. So they're kind of cheesy, but Chrono Trigger can work in this instance just because of the time travel aspect. I was also thinking, when I was a kid, there was a telephone sort of game where it was the same thing. I don't know if you guys ever experienced that, but where you could call into like these phone number lines, and usually they were free, and you could sort of choose your adventure by pushing buttons on the phone. So it'd be like if you press 1 to use the sword, press 2 to jump, press 3 to dive out of the way or something. And it was the same concept, just that it was on the telephone. So I think Chrono Trigger could really work well in that sort of medium.
So the answers to that is Chrono Trigger as a choose your own adventure book. Yes. Did we have a phone service where you could choose your own adventure? No.
Okay.
This is the first I've ever heard of this.
Okay.
And as for it being free, I'd have to question that with the hidden costs.
Oh, there could have been, but this one was provided by the local phone company, so you didn't have to pay for it. Not a very good one, but I just mean it was free.
Just make sure you hit the last digit right, because you may get another adventure of a different sort.
No, I don't think they were 1-800 or whatever they were. I think they were pretty short on the number list, so I didn't ever have to worry about phoning Starry Child 7 or something in Las Vegas or something.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, the Choose Your Own Adventure with Chrono Trigger. And back to you, Taylor.
I figured that this would kind of go hand in hand with one another to an extent, but there should be some sort of movie of Gran Turismo in the vein of Fast and the Furious. Because there's only 6 of them. So.
Wait, 6 Gran Turismos or 6 Fast and the Furious?
6 Fast and Furious.
Oh, okay.
Goodness.
So, yeah, there's only 6 of them, and, you know...
Only.
Gran Turismo likes to take its time. So, totally, you can just kind of bide people's time waiting for Gran Turismo 6 by putting out a Gran Turismo movie that's like
motion
Fast
picture.
Yes.
Would it be involving Paul Walker? And
I don't know who that is.
That's kind of one of the main dudes in the Fast and Furious series.
I've only seen like one of the movies, and I honestly have no idea.
Well, you've seen one of them. You've kind of seen all of them. So.
Probably. No,
they're not bad. They're just whatever. They're just what they are. Just racing movies. Well, not bad.
Oh yeah. So get that adrenaline pumping with racing, vroom vroom cars and whatnot. And
would you have to watch a sequence of driving around the same track about 10,000 times to make enough money so you could buy another car?
Oh God! Shoot me now.
I'd say no, but I guess to make it feel more like the game, it always is a possibility.
Days of Turismo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, they should have Gran Turismo versus Top Gear, the movie.
At least it'd be funny.
Or just Top Gear Rally, because that was an awesome Super Nintendo game.
Or it could be Top Gear Rally on the Game Boy Advance. Oh, is that Top Gear? Maybe it's Sega Rally. Maybe I'm mixing them up. Whatever, just as long as it has the Top Gear music, that'd be awesome. That music gets you pretty pumped. That'd be a good intro for a movie.
Yeah, that's true.
So who'd be driving the cars, Taylor? You got any idea who'd be acting in this?
Absolutely no idea. I don't know.
Okay, you can just cast yourself.
Yeah, sure, why not? I don't know actors.
Save on the budget. The cars are expensive.
Doing all of the parts.
You're going to be doing all the stunts, too.
All of the stunts. It'll be a one-man.
It'd be awesome. It'd just be like, all that flaming cars and stuff, that actually happened. That's why this movie took 10 years to complete. Taylor was recuperated to drive again.
10 years in a 3-day span in the movie. So intense.
Yeah, it'd be intense.
Over to you there, Greg.
Alrighty. Something really cool that I caught up with. Basically, one thing I really like, of course, about Fantasy Star 4, said this a million times. One of the things I really like is how the cutscenes are presented in a very manga-esque format, a comic book format. So I thought, why not just make a fancy style manga? And I actually did search to see if this was a legit thing in, Japan. No, it's not. There is a lot of fan-made ones, but, for Sega to publish a real fancy style manga, that'd be really cool. And especially like if they actually did it back in the 80s, because there's something about 80s manga that has this authenticity to it, this quality.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really cool. Especially, but more so if it's done in the same vein as Fancy Star 4. If it's actually full color, it's vibrant, you see all the action, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty expensive to be all in color.
Yeah. That can be a special edition. But I think it'd work really well. Just, Fancy Star kind of pushed for excellence in cutscenes, from a very early start, so it'd be fitting for them to have a manga or a comic book, so.
And you'd say you want it to be 4 or to be something in the vein of...
Oh, any of them. Mainly 1, 2, and 4.
Well, that's like you don't want it to be like maybe it was some sort of other continuation or some other kind of side story or anything. You want it to be kind of following the storyline of the games.
Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with a lot of manga in my time where it's a gaiden of something, which is not too bad. For Fantasy Star, I think I'd want them more just to tread on just the normal original stories.
Yeah, that could work really well though, Greg. I kind of thought about Fantasy Star 4 as a comic book or something too. Just it already sort of is lending itself to that. Just would need to fill in a few gaps.
Yeah.
That'd be
Exactly.
good. The only problem is you'd lose all the music.
Yeah, that's true. Unless it comes with a special audio CD.
Well, it could work. That could be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It was going to be the tracks they were going to use for the Mega CD version.
Oh yeah, that would be neat.
Dear. So yeah, so back to you, Sushi.
All right. So another one here I have is a very bizarre one, and this is a form of entertainment that is not necessarily dead, but could use a little bit of a push in this day and age, and that is mimes. So for miming, I have a Double Dragon theme, and this Double Dragon mime theme is basically going to take place on the streets of major cities around the world, where a group of people, 2 of which will look like Billy and Jimmy Lee and will not be allowed to speak, will suddenly just start beating the shit out of other people in the middle of the street, and it will be extremely amusing and very lovely at the same time. It'll be like an elegant ballet in the middle of the street. No one will know what's going on. Police will get involved. They'll get beat up. It'll be awesome. There'll be complete chaos in the streets, but people will be thoroughly entertained.
That's the best thing I've heard ever.
So, miming. There will be a mime performance of Double Dragon. The only sounds they're allowed to make are a few grunts and groans if they get beat up and dropped.
Oh dear, that's amazing.
So, Double Dragon Mime Show. And the best part is you don't have to pay anything. It'll be completely free.
There'll be a few lawsuits.
Oh, probably, but...
that's what you have forms to sign waivers.
Right, the people that will be not miming will be signing consent forms, and they will fully well know prior to the event that they are going to get beat up. So should be a good full contact show.
Oh man. But if you did that in Detroit, wouldn't that just...
Well, it might just be an everyday instance in Detroit, possibly.
Yes.
So people might not even take notice. No, no disrespect to Detroit. I've definitely heard Detroit's a rough city, though.
Yeah. They probably smell the actors as posers.
Yeah, maybe. Shot on site.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the Double Dragon Mime Show. So back to you, Taylor.
All right. This next one I have here is just something that seems like it would kind of come into its own, and that would be a Saturday morning cartoon of Rocket Slime.
Oh.
Like I could totally see that being actually something. It just Beavis adventures of your lovable, huggable slime going around every Saturday morning, righting wrongs and saving all of his slime buddies.
You know, it's perfect for a Saturday morning anime cartoon, and I can see the merchandise, even though Dragon Quest is already like the merchandising giant in Japan, you know. But there's always room for more.
Yeah, they would definitely be able to just make sort of special editions of the characters and stuff. Just like all those other toys, G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles, they all had these stupid characters. Oh, now you can buy the Ninja Turtle basketball players, and they would be pushing that pretty hard, I'm sure.
I can see the Rocket Slime slingshots already.
Yeah, I'd buy that. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome if the thing could explode when it hits something too, like stick on things, like Smud.
I can
That weird slimy goop stuff you could buy.
I can
Silly
foresee
Putty.
Yeah, that's right, Silly Putty.
Yeah, Silly Putty. That'd be easy to convert. Just color it blue, right?
Yeah. I can foresee the board game. You got the two battleships, you know, where you got to chuck things back and forth, you know.
Yeah. No, it'd be cool.
Yeah, that's kind of came to mind. It just seems like it would be something that would be pretty intrinsically able to do there, and just be like, oh, hey, you know, Rocket Slime Saturday morning cartoon. It seems like it'd be something that's meant to be. Over you, Craig.
Alrighty. Very simple. Very simple indeed. Streets of Rage game to be movie. And you know what's funny? I searched to see if this existed. There was already another movie called The Streets of Rage 1994. Has nothing to do with the video game.
Not a surprise.
So I was just like, alrighty. So the thing is, this is only going to work if, you know, some things are done bad, some things are done good. It's got to be a B movie. It can't be an A-class movie. It's got to have that cheese to it.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, some really good, you know, fight choreograph. You know, really good. What's the word? Some good scenery. Some questionable acting has to be thrown in there.
Yeah.
Like for the three main characters, let them have sort of, you know, the crux of the script. You know, with sort of like the quality, and let all like the henchmen just, you know, be people like taken off the street. Or members of the
Want to make
cast.
$10? All right.
Just pretend it gets smacked in the face here.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're gonna get high kicked from Blaze. You don't need to pay me $10 for me to do that.
Skate's got to be in this movie, and he's got to die in the first 30 seconds. They need some sort of incentive to fight their way through the streets. Oh, kill off Skate. He sucks anyway.
Pretty.
And it's all the more reason to bring Max in there, so Max can just start busting skulls.
And if they shoot it in Australia, they'll be able to get a kangaroo.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of things wrong with that, but
So there could be a few animal rights activists that won't approve, but
yeah,
if they treat the kangaroo well and feed them well, maybe they back off.
What's the old android? Is it Zan or Zan?
Dr. Zan?
Yeah, in Streets of Rage 3.
Yeah.
He could be like really badly CG.
Yeah, they could just give him a really cheesy like outfit, sort of like the Nicolas Cage Superman outfit or something.
Yeah.
They can make it look really bad. Wouldn't be that hard to get somebody. You know who'd be really good? Tony Jaa for Shiva.
Yeah.
He'd be awesome. He's so acrobatic and everything. He'd make a good Shiva.
Absolutely. Oh, who's that actor? Oh man, not Mickey Rourke, but he's in Sin City.
Mickey Rourke would be a good Max.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. So along those lines. It'd be really cool. I'm trying to think Blaze, you know. Who'd be Blaze?
Nicolas Cage as Mr. X.
Mr. X. No, I have someone in mind for Mr. X. He's from Sin City. Something Rourke. It's not Mickey Rourke, it's someone else. Or no, it's not Rourke, it's Powers Booth, that's it. Powers Booth. Perfect. He was made for him. So yeah, Streets of Rage, the movie.
That's a good one. That's a really funny one.
All right, back to you.
All right, now I have a really bizarre one, and this is another sort of transcending one, and I want to make a Karnov arm wrestling tournament. And this is going to be a World Karnov arm wrestling tournament. And we're going to get a guy who's going to look like Karnov and is going to pretend to be Karnov, and he's going to be the world champion for this arm wrestling tournament. And we're going to get people from all over the world to get together and face off in that sort of March Madness NCAA basketball tournament where you get knocked out after so many chances, kind of like Over the Top, the movie. And ultimately you have to try to face Karnov, but no matter what you do, it doesn't matter. It's impossible to beat Karnov because he always cheats and he changes the rules. So maybe if you put his hand down, he pulls away and he says, "Oh, your hand was all oiled up" or something. He always tries to cheat somehow when he's probably the one who's all oiled up and disgusting. And so Karnov always wins no matter what, but it doesn't stop people from trying. So we've got Karnov, the arm wrestling tournament. I don't think I could enter this, man. I think I would just get destroyed because it'd just be a bunch of big bruising, muscular dudes coming in thinking they could take this guy. But as I said, he'd always cheat. So
Yeah.
There'd be no weight classes either.
Unless we could find Mike Hager.
Yeah. Karnov would probably beat him. Karnov cheats. Karnov would breathe fire in his face or something as he was trying to arm wrestle him. Karnov would totally cheat.
That is true.
Karnov is king. He'd always come out with this shirt that says Karnov is king. It'd be great. I don't know which country could hold this. What do you think? What country could hold this?
Somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, somewhere, some small town in Europe. Small town Germany or something. Everyone could get drunk after.
I think you need to go a little bit more east.
A little further east, all right. Bosnia Herzegovina. somewhere who needs like a good image for their tourism. Like you can use the Karnov tournament for that.
If they need Karnov for good image, oh boy.
Well, you could do a lot worse.
Oh dear.
Karnov. All right, back to you, Taylor.
Another one that I had thought of was a kind of I didn't quite limit. It could be either of these series. I didn't specify, but either like a Gradius or a Darius or a Thunder Force, kind of like those. I don't know what the hell it's called, but that Star Wars ride that they have that's kind of is in that room with the picture and it kind of shakes the room around and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Some sort of 3D experience, or
yeah, I guess something like that. I don't know. I personally, I would never ride it just because I rode one of those things once and it made me sick. But I don't know. People might get a kick out of something similar or akin to a Star Wars one, except for in the vein of either something with Gradius or Darius or Thunder Force, and it just being like batshit insane. Like so. It would be one of those things that is like, if you have epilepsy, do not ride this. You will have fits of epileptic seizures there. But some whatever kind of 3D experience kind of thing like that. For those kind of games.
So this would be like one of those. Is it one of those weird things that looks like a spaceship from the outside, and then you go and sit inside? Yeah. One of those old weird things. Do they even still make those?
There was one at Tokyo Disneyland when I last went.
How many people does it hold? Just a handful? Like 8 or 9 or something?
I think a bit more than that. I think it's closer to 50.
Okay. So not like a big movie theater room. It's just
it's a smaller room, but it's like it's able to shake it around and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
Awesome Gradius music.
Would it be sort of like 4D movie where they'd be spraying you in the face with air and stuff?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Throwing rocks at you. This is a meteor shower.
Like debris, so people have.
What happens when you get knocked out and then you got to use the pea shooter again?
But it's not a game though; it's a ride. So why would they?
They got to enhance the experience, though. It's got to be intense.
intense. Why don't you just have it end where if for whatever reason they chose wrong that day and decided to ride the thing, and Big Viper goes boom, then the room goes boom and everybody dies of horrific fiery death.
Oh, is the outside of the thing shaped like Vic Viper?
No, it'll be just a cardboard box.
Oh. Yeah. So people might mistake it for a Metal Gear Solid ride.
Yeah, totally. No, I don't know. Like, you can either do that if you're going for the Gradius 5 or whatever the hell they call the Darius ships.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what those are called.
They probably have some name to them. Nor do I really remember what the Thunder Force ships are called.
Hmm.
But you can model it after that and kind of just go with it that way.
Hmm.
Well, I'm stealing that last one. Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Rex. And I'm saying a full-on working model in a large sort of Saharan desert. Go nuts.
Go nuts on the sand.
I don't know.
Jump around, just do whatever you can, I guess. Maybe you got to have some sort of targets out in the sand. Giant scorpions or something.
I was about to say something, but the Africans may not like their wildlife being completely annihilated by a walking bipedal tank.
Yeah, that would cause outrage.
Mutant cacti.
And unless they mass produce geckos, then you could shoot them down. Oh dear. Well, no, the real one that I was going to suggest is something that I kind of, well, I wouldn't say I'm working on as of now, but something I keep thinking about. I've always said to myself as one of the biggest East fans on the planet that I would like to adapt East Book 1 and 2 into a epic live motion picture. And I've actually written a bit of a script for Book 1. And I've thought about it for ages, and when new actors come and go, I think who would be good for this, Recently, the movie Thor and the Avengers, the guy who plays Loki, Tom Hiddleston, I think he'd be good as Dark Fact, he'd be really good. There's this kid from Percy Jackson, main guy, I think the main actor who plays Percy Jackson, I think he looks like Adol to a great extent, so he can be Adol. Though I joked about the Olsen twins being, and I said, no fucking way. Next. And you get Thomas Hayden Church to sort of be Goban, and the joke is he actually was Goban in the PC Engine version when he was doing Wings and that other, what was that other show, that other sitcom he did? I don't know. Before he did George of the Jungle. But he actually was the voice of Goban. I'd put that as like a little nod to the East fans of the West. All this. Just something I would do for fun. And as a director and writer of the movie, I'd put myself in the movie as Dallas. And you wouldn't hear my voice because I'd synthesize it on the sounding board, sound demonic. Awesome. No, it's something I've considered, because I remember back when all the really talented people are doing these low-budget video game fan action movies. Like, I keep forgetting the guy's name. He did Mega Man movie. He recently did the short Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and they were rather decent. And there's some guy staged in the UK that wants to do a proper Street Fighter movie, and they've actually got tremendous amount of backing, and they actually got Capcom's blessing after 2 years. So it's become a big thing. And I said to myself, if I was to do it, I'd definitely do East Justice, because you know me, it's probably the most played game for me ever. I think I've played over 5 different versions so far, and I've played some of those versions more than 3 times. I think the PC Engine more than 5, so...
A little dedication there.
So with source material dedication, yeah. And I'm making sure that I can make it entertaining to the movie-going audience. It wouldn't be just for the hardcore East fans. I'd make sure it's done right, and it wouldn't be cheesy. I would make this big budget, just a fantasy epic.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
Good
again,
luck
and
funding
again,
that.
oh yeah, that's it. And the other thing, though, is it'd be excuse to remix JDK's music once again. Nothing wrong with that. Oh boy, so back to you, Sushi.
All right. So another one here I have is Katamari Damacy the game. So this is going to be a Katamari game show, which kind of fits sort of the, some of the bizarre Japanese game shows that are out there that we come across once in a while. And I don't exactly know how the start of the game would work. I was sort of thinking of it just being a sort of Trivial Pursuit type thing at the beginning where a handful of people would be vying for the final goal of being able to push a giant Velcro type ball thing through a area that could pick up prizes and stuff. And I kind of envisioned it where you were actually in the ball like a hamster, sort of that American Gladiators had that weird game where they had to run in the ball and go over those chutes that had steam come out of them and gave you points and stuff. So I was thinking you could kind of do that, or you could have the people inside and somebody else pushes the ball and they're inside and they're trying to kind of maneuver the ball as much as possible to get their prizes and stuff. Katamari could really potentially be an interesting game show, but it would probably kind of suck.
I, I I I keep forgetting the name. Who's the name of the father? Is he the king of the universe or
King of the Cosmos,
king of the
I
cosmos?
think.
There's only one person that could be him in the coach, and that beat Takeshi. He kind of you had a hand in the whole crazy game shows with Takeshi's Castles, and also produced one of the worst video games in all time.
You could just have him, as the King of the Cosmos, just wearing the cod piece, always getting in people's faces and stuff. And yeah. It'd be interesting. It'd be a very colorful game show, that's for sure. Katamari's got a nice color palette that could blend really well for a kooky game show.
I feel sorry for the cleaners on that set, though.
Oh, it'd probably be a bleeping mess. Maybe they would just not clean it. Maybe that's the point. It'd just be shit everywhere. It's like, yeah, we'll pick it up tomorrow on tomorrow's episode. Just leave everything.
They like the budget goes into doing more Katamari balls, and like when they're done, they're gonna put them out as a museum art piece somewhere.
Maybe they could have it internationally where they would take the ball to other countries and try to have like weird areas. They would just be like, okay, now you're in New York City, pick up some shit, and just running around New York City with a giant Katamari ball.
Oh dear, freight on that would be a bitch.
Oh yeah, but if they're making money, I'm sure they would do it.
Oh, they better get popular.
You could put it in some pretty bizarre places. Here's the Louvre. Go.
Oh crap!
The Arctic adventure one would be quite amusing because there'd be nothing to pick up. All I'm getting is snow.
There'd be random polar bears and penguins and sea lions.
You could potentially die very easily from hypothermia and polar bear attacks and. The Amazon, that would cause some serious problems of breaking trees and stuff.
Yeah, you'd be a county game of counting all the random wildlife on the Katamari ball.
So Katamari, the official game show, TV show. And back to you, Taylor.
One I thought of as that would kind of be an interesting TV series, even though I don't watch TV, is a Romancing Saga 2 specifically. Romancing Saga 2 TV series. And the reason why I picked out 2 is because for the story of 2, you're kind of like you're like the emperor of this kingdom, and it goes through about 6 or 7 generations. I want to say it's like 7 generations. Maybe more. I don't quite remember. But you go through different generations, and in the game itself, it like Romancing Saga is really it's not your typical Japanese RPG. It's very open. So if, for example, you're playing through a generation and your party gets killed in a fight, you just jump to the next generation. It doesn't matter if you didn't do everything there. It just goes to the next one. So as a TV series, like you could make different. You could be open to interpretation to the point where if nobody quite knows exactly what the spiel is, you can make it into kind of something I guess similar to in Game of Thrones in that vein, which is kind of all the deaths and whatnot, and it'll keep you on your toes of this kind of empire and stuff. Be kind of interesting, I think, because like the villains are these heroes, or what were once heroes that are now wrecking havoc across the world. So I think it turned to be a very good, interesting TV series.
Well, what kind of motif does that game have?
Victorian-esque, or
maybe. It's
a hint?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's got your kind of typical kind of. I would probably put it around the 14th century or so, 14th, 13th, 13th, 14th, 15th century Europe. Kind of in that.
Yeah.
So,
just before Victorian, so yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of in around there. It kind of depends on what specifically with 2, what generation you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not quite clean enough. Still got that grunge to it.
Cool.
So we just be having like people die off and then just jump to another generation.
That would be the thing, is that you could have, it'd be kind of episodic, and then boom, all of a sudden, the quote unquote what you thought was the main character gets offed, and you're just like, holy shit, oh my god. So
I could foresee sort of that soap opera fan base. They've got that one character that are obsessed with.
Right, and by the time like that kind of that generation's finished, you have a whole slew of new kind of characters. So maybe some people like it because they get attached to somebody. That sounded interesting.
Sounds very abrupt.
Well, I mean, it makes it feel more. What's the word I want to use? More natural, I guess. I don't know.
It'll keep some excitement for sure. You wouldn't know what to expect every time.
Exactly. So it's as long as it's not too abrupt, I guess, because you don't want to just every other episode, boom, boom, boom. And I guess in the game itself, like if for example, if your party dies before it gets over, I think it's 100 or so years before you kind of come back into the game. And so it's like 100 or more before you come back into it. It might be 200 years after the fact. So I mean, you could make it shorter and whatever. It'd be a very, like, for those who are writing the script and stuff, they could make it a lot more open to interpretation of how they want to approach things like that. So, you can make it pretty lengthy.
All the way into the future.
Yeah, pretty much. You could
laser guns and time travel.
Time ninja.
It sounds like Doctor Who or something now.
I guess I don't know anything about.
No. If you went that crazy, you could just be like, yeah, now we're gonna go back and kill the first generation people once more.
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah, you could start messing up with that pretty bad if you wanted.
I figured. I don't know. People didn't milk it for all it's worth. Get a good few seasons out of it. Be like,
42 seasons worth.
No. There's a point where shit needs to come to an end.
That's what it becomes, unlimited saga.
Yeah.
No one will be watching for sure then.
Yeah.
There's just a point where you gotta end it. You can't just keep on going with it. So over to you there, Greg.
Alrighty, but first, some breaking news! Hello, humanoids. I am an android programmed to deliver the news. And with me is...
a completely confused traveler.
Tonight's breaking story... Reboot initiated. Tonight's main story is the gaming expo known as E3 has been cancelled indefinitely.
Now more with this breaking news is with us out in the field. Yeah. Out in the field is a politician who tells everyone what they want to hear. Are you with us, Mr. Politician?
Yes, sir, I am. What can I do?
You, politician humanoid, can you please tell us how this came about so abruptly?
Well, quite frankly, this is what the people wanted. They were tired of all of the nonsense that this was doing. It was just wasting all the money and everything, and it wasn't good for the children. So we thought that this would be the best course of action, and decided to go with it.
Now I'm confused, Mr. Politician. I'm completely confused. What is your sort of involvement with this, with being in the field? Do you have any sort of personal ties to this event?
I might. Depends on who you ask. If you ask anybody who's opposing this, they'll say that I am some sort of dastardly human being and that I had nothing to do with it at all. However, if you ask anybody else that was actually a part of it, they would know that I had a hand in bringing about this event because it needed to be done. The people wanted it, and so it shall be.
Had this anything to do with the fact that we live in a current age where news is delivered at the speed of light, and something such as E3 is made redundant?
That is, I don't know if you would say that exactly, but that is a good point. We tried to combat these kind of issues. You get news all the time, even though it's not quite what it should be. You have some of the liars in the other networks that just they say such horrible things. But honestly, instead of getting it from E3, you could just get it from one reputable source, and that is from these companies themselves. I mean, I just don't know why you need such a thing. Why you need to. It doesn't make sense.
Now, Mr. Politician, I'm confused. I'm not of this world. So, what sort of political funding did this E3 event get?
Quite frankly, it didn't get any. It was just kind of, it was a leech on society, and it needed to be burnt off.
Now, that's not from what I understand what the opposition is saying.
Well, the opposition is wrong, and they've always been wrong, and they will count. I cannot count how many times they've wanted to say, oh, it's got something to do. No, they have no. It's nothing. Don't listen to them.
Secondary message. Starting now. To my knowledge, E3 was just a cover-up so the big government funding can be done for more robotics. Shut him down now, shut him down! Hello. I am another android. The other one was just terminated. Can you tell me if what the previous android said was true or false? Please note that your answer may have serious repercussions.
Honestly, we're doing everything that we can for the people, and if the people wish to have something of that, then so be it. That's just, I mean, that's what we're going for. I work for the people have hired me, and that's what I am planning to do.
Now, Mr. Politician, I'm a little confused here. So, I'm not of this country and this nation. Could you please expand upon the notion that you have lost all of the public support, as well as E3 had also lost the public support?
I'd have to get back to you on that one. I've not heard anything about that, and I'd have to talk to my secretary.
Well, that is it for the recorded news time, dear listeners. I'd like to bring a programmed thank you to the shady politician for his allotted time. So let me repeat myself. The event known as E3 has been deleted indefinitely.
Whose turn is it?
It's Mine, apparently. So, okay, let's get back into it. Alrighty, let's get back into it. Very quickly, I thought Taylor might have this in his list, and this is a very simple one. This didn't really take long to think of, and that's a last story novel.
I
Because
did not, actually.
okay, but we talked about this before when we both played the last story, that the game feels like a novel at times, just how it's set out, and I just thought, well, let's put it into a novel. It'd be easiest. It'd be out of all. See, the thing is I wanted to have at least one video game to novel translation, and I know that around here in Australia there's a lot of Assassin's Creed books, but one that I could see in my collection, I could have a hard time translating to a book, and I thought the last story would be a really good one.
I actually have a few on my list, but I'll save those. But yeah, that could be kind of a, what's the word I want to use? It would be a kind of, I don't want to say. Actually, I don't know. I honestly can't think of the word.
Well, as much as the focus would be on Zale, because it's the party members, you get to have certain chapters like in the game, even included with the extra chapters that are optional, would be not optional. I'd definitely put them in the book and force everyone to read them because they are awesome and rich in character. So, no, it'd be definitely. Well, the other one was Lost Odyssey, and I thought to myself, yeah, that might be an Odyssey. The length it would be, and you'd have all 1,000 Years of Dreams published. Oh,
wait,
whoa.
didn't they publish that as something separate? I thought they did.
They might have, yeah.
I don't know. If they did, that'd be awesome.
Because I know, swore they did, at least in Japan. I thought.
Yeah. I might have to look into that.
I could be wrong, but I thought there was some sort of rumblings about it getting published, unless that was some sort of fuzzy memory I have about talking about that with a friend one time way back when. But
Oh, I'll definitely look into it. 'Cause that'd be cool. Yeah, there's not really much in the way of Lost Odyssey merchandise, even though I'm kind of at that point in time where I don't want to buy any more stuff for my collection in that regard. So, but it'd be cool to know if that exists. But get ahead of myself. Getting back to Sushi and his wacky choices. I'm looking forward to the next one.
All right, well, the next one might not be that wacky, but I did something with Kirby here, something that's a bit out of the ordinary for him, and I've turned Kirby into a horror film. And Kirby is now going to be in a movie that's called Nightmare Kirby, and he's going to be a giant pink blob that is going to be fully CG'd in a sort of ridiculous horror film that's very low budget. And he's going to have gone AWOL and basically going around and eating everyone and then spitting them out like giant blobs of goo. So
Yeah.
Kirby's going to go crazy, basically.
Now, is this horror movie so bad it's got the age-old high school kids kissing in the back of a car, and then he just sucks them up?
Yeah, it could be that. I was thinking just more like it would be something like The Blob or something where he's just going around and he's just sort of this enigma. He doesn't really have any sort of agenda. He's just, yeah, I'm going to eat stuff and spit it out and terrorize people because it's fun. And there won't be any stopping Kirby. Even though they think they can blow him up with dynamite and everything, he might explode, but he's always going to come back for about 85 sequels, just like most horror movies have. And, I mean, you can do a lot with the Kirby character. You can just keep having him eat people and just all kinds of things. You can get power-ups so he can start destroying people with lasers and swords and all kinds of goofy things. Beating people down with parasols. And beating old ladies with parasols.
Now, is it going to be Ed Wood quality where they only do one take for the motion capture?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Ed Wood, so...
Oh, Ed, just very quickly, Ed Wood was, they voted, the worst director ever, but he's got this big following because he was so mad that, not mad as in angry, mad as in nuts, that he'd do one take. And if someone, banged their head on the set and the set would rock, he would say, cut, brilliant, and put that in the film.
I could do that, possibly, but it might be hard with CG. You might have to have someone do mocap or something.
Yeah, that's why I thought being badly CG Kirby.
Right. It'd be really bad CG.
Well, who would you do the motion capture for Kirby then?
Who would be the mocap for Kirby?
Yeah.
Maybe I would find like a way to clip a bunch of Chris Farley videos together or something and use that as the mocap. Because Chris Farley's pretty
Oh,
bumbly and goofy, so but he could be
oh,
terrorizing at the same time when he'd scream at people. So.
oh, that is poor taste. May you rest in peace.
No, I like Chris Farley. That's the point why I would use him because I think he's
Yeah.
just got sort of deranged comedy that would be interesting.
Yeah, and if you look at Chris Farley's face, it just reminds me of Kirby something.
Well, I didn't think of it like that, but all right. Taylor, would you be interested in the Kirby horror flick?
Not really. I don't like horror movies. I think they're kind of boring.
Well, that's the point of this movie. It's not necessarily a horror movie. It's just a big joke.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Which would make it even more of a reason for me not to want to watch it.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm actually the same as I think we talked about this so many times. I'm not a horror movie buff at all. So,
Yeah.
but I'd watch this could be so bad.
It'd just be, the point of it would be bad. So
One sitting, one watch. It's not one of those you'd watch again and again and again unless you're a glutton for punishment.
yeah, it could
Or
be
really
have some point of view shots would be interesting, like Kirby eating people.
When you mean the insides of Kirby, to see what really happens when he digests.
As they transform into a star that he spits out.
I will say this from experience. Watching horror movies suck. Making horror movies are actually quite fun.
Mm.
Because you're on the inside and you know it's bad, but hey, what the heck? What else are you going to do? It's film school. So
I might hire Tom Savini to be the makeup effects.
Oh, he's too good for that. I'm a big fan of Tom Savini, so
yeah, he's pretty good. Pretty good at what he does.
Yeah,
but
no. Yep. Alrighty.
Yeah. Kirby the horror flick. Over to you, Taylor.
I have not seen anything like it, and I guess because Parasite Eve comes from a novel. It originally was a novel and then became the games, or at least the first game. And I kind of wish that there was a Silent Hill novel. Like, I don't know if there is any, but I would like to kind of see the the mental breakdown of somebody being put through through pages of a book, and see how they would write it, and see how that would be to kind of experience it through that, and to experience it through a game or a movie, even though I didn't see the movie. But
yeah, no, it'd be better book. I mean, you don't bring up the movie. I haven't seen it, but I've heard things. So
Meh, not too good.
so, I don't know. I really enjoyed the first two games. I never actually played anything past that, but I really enjoyed the first two games, and I just thought that kind of that sense of, I guess, mental instability and loss that just kind of permeates through this, especially through the second one. There, it's just kind of like, ugh. So I'd like to see kind of how that would pan out as a novel. Yeah. Over to you there, Greg.
alrighty, there's rumors that this might become a game. And if that's true, I'm going to be extremely happy. One of my favorite cult movies of all time. Slightly controversial, but just absolutely awesome. And that's the Boondock Saints. That would be the greatest game ever. And you have the greatest reason to shoot bad guys because they're evil. And the Boondock Saints must destroy evil wherever it is. Because they're the ultimate vigilantes. Now, I was searching to see if this is a game, because I know it'd be a fan game, but I think I wouldn't say low-budget company may have the right to actually make a full current era game of it. I'm like, that'd be pretty cool. I don't have much time to play Western games these days, but that's one that I definitely would play. Now, I reckon the gameplay would be something like Max Payne, but except with more better characters. So I definitely would love to play it, Just, they're really, really good movies, and I love the characters. And, you can have the cutscenes, like, you can start out, before the gameplay, you can start out each area with the detective doing his version of how it all happened, and then it transports back to how it happened, and you take control of them. You know, you know.
Billy Connolly downloadable content.
Yeah, from his perspective, where he's got all those
Yeah,
different guns. Offload. No. It'd be fantastic if how it's done, and you know, like I said, Boondock Saints is glorious not because of the great action scene, just because of the tongue-in-cheek humor as well. You know, and you get both actors to do the voices for each character. You know, make it authentic as possible. It'd be awesome, and of course, bring back Willem Dafoe because to you know, this Boondock Saints, you got to have Willem Dafoe's character in there.
He's pretty crazy. And
good old Rocky. I don't know if the exploding cat would make it through the censors, but oh, shit. But it'd have an awesome dream sequence like Boondock Saints too. Oh man, but no, definitely Boondock Saints game, and I hope this game that may or may not be in production actually does happen because I definitely give that a look. That'd be damn awesome. Back over to you, Sushi.
All right, so another one here on the list down the line is the Golden Axe games, and I'm basically just completely stealing the idea of the Highland games, and I'm putting a Golden Axe theme on it. So any competitors that would be willing to participate in the quote-unquote Highland games will now be changed because it will be sponsored by Sega, and it will be the Golden Axe games. And this will include riding all kinds of different animals that will be dressed up as weird dragons and that weird little, I don't know what he is, that beaked lizard thing, and so you'd have some sort of races with that.
Now, why would you want to dress up as you just hire Marlon Brando to reprise his role as, you know, Dr. Moreau and let him go to work.
Yeah, so we'd have that. We'd have all kinds of just regular Highland Games things that were throwing the axes and picking up giant logs and throwing them and stuff, but you'd have to wear kind of goofy tunics. You'd have the barbarian dude would be in there and all kinds of goofy things. It would be pretty amusing to see somebody dressed up as Gilius Thunderhead trying to do stuff and chop down a tree and whatnot. And they have a sort of battle with, what's his name, Death Adder at the end or something. You know, the victor of the tournament gets to fight Death Adder and claim some sort of giant prize or something. So
if Batista's movie career doesn't work out, he can just go as Black Death Adder.
Yeah, actually, he wouldn't make a bad one. He's definitely got the build for it. So need a big man to play that role. But yeah, the Golden Axe games. Any thoughts on that, or?
Well, I think that the only bad thing about it is if there's crowds watching it, they get tired when they see the combatants get kicked into the pit for the umpteenth time, and just be like, no.
We'd have to make some sort of robotic skeletons just to piss people off because they keep getting destroyed by fucking skeletons. The Golden Axe games. We'd have these big speakers all around the area too, like the forested area, and playing, like, the music would just be pumping, like you wouldn't be able to hear people because it would be so loud. But 3 countries over, you'd know what was going on. Golden Axe games. And it'd be full of cheese. It's Sega's sort of cheese, right? It's just kind of like the Streets of Rage movie. As long as Sega was involved, it'd be cheesy and stupid.
Yeah. Oh dear. I'm trying to figure out how you do the giant eagle and all that. Oh.
No, some stuff would definitely have to be cut, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Make that to like a, I don't know, some sort of pinata round or something. Just wail on the string.
Oh yeah, put the skeleton up as the piñata. Everyone would want to beat that skeleton, so just get him.
That, or you can turn that into, well, no, you make a humongous kind of maybe paper mache, but some sort of humongous skeleton thing, and you give it like the Street Fighter treatment, and you have 30 seconds to beat the fuck out of this as much as possible. Go.
Which would be pretty easy if you got an axe or a sword. Just
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe not paper mache, but
some sort of harder material.
That was so glorious to see that happen in real life, where they actually had the paper mache car from Street Fighter at this art exhibit for Street Fighter, and they allowed everyone to wail on it. That is the coolest thing ever.
Maybe if it was lots of layers of paper mache, maybe that could work. If it was just really, really hard to get through. I don't know what would be inside. It would be magic potions inside. No, it'd be those little midget dudes that come on. You get to beat them too.
It's gonna have the music as well.
Got 'em. That'd be a great. You could after you capture them, we'd force them to run a race like hamsters in a maze.
That's pretty horrible.
Oh, they wouldn't be real people, so.
You capture one, you sell it on eBay.
Real life golden axe munchkin for sale.
There'll be some high roller in Vegas that want it for their casino.
They wouldn't be real people though. They'd be some sort of weird robots or something. But yeah, that's back to you, Taylor.
Actually, they could be ferrets.
I wouldn't put ferrets, man. They fight back. They'd be all over you and chewing through your flesh.
Yeah. The Taylor.
All right. Another one that I have here is gotta go spaghetti western Wild Arms movie.
Oh
That
man.
would be just fantastic.
Can we cut the giant stupid plot point though?
Oh yeah, yeah. That doesn't have to be.
Get that out
Well,
of there.
yeah, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to have that kind of plot. It's pretty unnecessary, I guess. It's just kind of there to be there. It's really not
Shocking for the time, right?
I'd be there on as a temporary producer just to make sure to get the fundings to get Boomerang Flash right. Casting the right guy, making sure the costume is right, and just like we can't have this movie.
Greg's an extra in the town that gets shot like in the first 30 seconds of the major battle. But it'd be awesome. It'd be worth it, Greg. I'll be the sheriff that walks in and acts tough, and then I get shot really fast.
right at the beginning that wiped out.
Yeah. Just a whole town just gets burned out.
But yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to see it as a kind of like a spaghetti. I mean, they steal the music from them anyway, so might as well go all out, make a Wild Arms spaghetti western movie.
No, it'd be neat to add a bit of the sci-fi element, sort of like what Cowboys and Aliens tried to do.
Yeah,
with some robots and stuff. It'd be neat.
That actually came to mind as well when he mentioned that. So, except I reckon it'd be a lot more appealing.
Yeah.
Nothing
The
against
use
that.
of magic helps, right? It's kind of makes it a little more interesting.
Makes it more magical.
Now, Taylor, would you just use the three main characters? Would you kind of, take elements from different Wild Arms games, or what?
Probably with how it is with kind of adaptations, they probably have some sort of hand in altering it to some extent. Of course, I would not, if somebody were to take a franchise and to go from a game to a movie or something, I wouldn't expect them to do it verbatim, just because,
Right.
Especially with some RPGs, there's just not enough content in there, so you have to kind of tweak things a little bit here and there, or something that's silly and just kind of unnecessary cop-out plot twist. But
Right.
yeah, so just choose. You have 30 different characters for all I know. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly add. Here comes the Wild Bunch. Wild Arms, Wild Bunch. Might as well just steal everything at this point. Just steal every spaghetti western. Put it in there.
yeah, yeah, and just throw the Wild Arms name on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's all they have to do.
Yeah. So.
What do you mean this isn't Good, Bad, the Ugly? What are you talking about? This isn't a fistful of dollars. This is Wild Arms.
Wild Arms. Can't you tell by the music?
And we'll just have cheesy sequels that steal titles, like A Fistful of Arms. My Name is Arms.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh, the Wild Bunch Arms. The Wild Arms Bunch. Blazing Arms. But yeah, you could definitely steal a lot. And you could keep that running for a long time, too.
Yeah, totally. As long as the money doesn't wear out.
Which is probably kind of tough to do with a Western these days.
And if it's an old school Western, you got to do the blood right. It's not the blood as they used to. It's the old blood with its lipstick and something else.
Wild Earp.
Yeah. Oh.
Starring Kevin Costner.
We want people to see it, Sushi.
The Postman Arms, starring Kevin Costner. Dances with Arms, starring Kevin Costner. Open Arms, starring Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner, if you're listening, you have a second chance at Hollywood, buddy. Call us or call the people at Sony to get the Wild Arms franchise.
Redeem yourself for Prince of Thieves.
Unforgiven Arms. Get Clint out of retirement. Get him back in a Western saddle.
What am I doing here? Oh yeah, I got tired of directing.
As long as he's not trying to roast nobody, he's good to go.
I doubt it, sadly. But you never know.
Yeah.
It's a good pick, too.
It is. It's really good.
Over to you there, Rig.
This one's going to be the most obscure one of the list, and a lot of people may not understand this one, but this is actually a game adaptation of one of my favorite martial arts movies of all time. This movie actually led to the inspiration to create fighting games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and that is the Master of the Flying Guillotine. The reason why I want this to be a game, there's only one system this can be on, and that's the Wii. Because his weapon is... Okay. How to explain his friggin' weapon. It's like a beekeeper's hat of death.
It's a bullshit fake weapon. The end.
Well, it's like a beekeeper's helmet thingy with blades in there, and he has this giant rope. He tugs on the rope, and the blades dig in, and he rips the guy's head off with the... It's the most ridiculous and awesome thing ever. Now, with the Wiimote, you can control the most ridiculous thing ever. And of course, but the thing is you wouldn't be able to control him until later in the game, and he would be... Well, you know, it'd be cool to have things from his perspective, because the Master of the Flying Guillotine is the villain. But, you know, this time you play from his
You have
perspective.
a story about that, right?
Mm.
Well, I mean, they tried to, like, pawn it off as an actual weapon back in the day that they used to assassinate people with and to collect heads and shit. And it's like, no, that it's so ridiculous. And it's so...
Actually,
it's fake.
The reason I actually brought this up because Mythbusters actually did the test on Master of Flying Guillotine and made their own models. One of them actually turned out to be plausible, which shocked the hell out of me. It's like, but the accuracy on it was very for like moving targets.
Well, because it's as you said, it's like a helmet. You have to like.
Perfect shot.
Yeah. No, never. Greg, why did you bring it up? No.
Oh,
because it would be funny to see the Wii peripheral for that.
Yeah.
I'm afraid
that would be quite amusing.
I'm afraid that there'd be a lot of chucking of the Wiimotes there.
Yeah, that happened when the Wii first came out. It's fine.
Well, I'm thinking that's what the flying guillotine would actually be, is just a flying Wiimote. The nunchuck. Just flapping around, taking out your little brother.
Yeah, Jimmy, flying guillotine again.
You're done, Greg. You're done.
I had to bring one of my favorite martial arts movies. I remember because, you know, we have a station here called SBS, and every Saturday night there'd be some weird movie, foreign movie, and one night it came on, and my brother and I just sat there in awe going, what are we watching? It's so awesome, yet so cheesy. And we just noticed all the references going, I think this game led to Street Fighter, because there is a guy who's comes from the Middle East, and he does extend his arms like Dalsin, except because it's done in the 70s, it's not fluid. It's like they had all the arms attached to a piece of string.
Paper mache arms.
And then it's like, you know, I just like to, I don't know why. It's just a weird idea that would be cool on the Wii.
Nice.
It may not have to be based on the movie. You can just be the Master of Flying Guillotine throughout his life, ripping people's heads off. Most violent game in the Wii.
Give Mad World a run for its money.
Yeah, definitely. So back to you, Sushi.
All right, well, I don't want to spend too much more time on this. I've got a handful here. I wrote down a bunch, but I've got a couple left here, two pretty significant ones that I want to get out onto the podcast here. And the second last one I have here is simply called Beefcakes. And this will be an adult entertainment for women strip club featuring the likes of Zangief, Powered Up Altered Beast Man, Chris Redfield, Mike Hagar. We need a pretty boy, so we've got Terry Bogard. And Bayou Billy, of course, because he would be a great dancer. And
I like how you're so positive.
oh, he'd be awesome. He'd throw his hat off to the crowd, and at the end, if he gets hit with a beer bottle, just drag him off. We've got Kyle from Lunar, because he's kind of dirty and kind of I could see him being a good stripper. Donkey Kong would make an appearance because he's got nothing better to do. Commander Shepard, because we need a good-looking dude to kind of be the face of the whole place with Beefcakes. And then we would take Super Macho Man from Punch-Out, because he's just a giant beefcake. So these would be basically real people dressed up as these sort of, these goofy characters dancing on stage and stuff. So they'd be all in makeup and they'd have their clothing. So Bayou Billy guy would come out in his little leather chaps and stuff. So it would be an amazingly themed show. I can see Earl from Toe Jam and Earl, just a guy just coming out and shaking his gut as fast as he can, kind of Chris Farley from that goofy Chippendales Dancers Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, yeah.
And just be Chris Redfield just flexing his muscles. Powered Up Altered Beast dudes, it'd be both of them, and they'd be doing a pose down versus each other. Wise from your grave, and they would come up from the ground and smoke. And they come up. It'd be amazing. I'd probably go to this show. So, Zangief just coming out, spinning and everything. It'd be awesome. Mike Hagar would come up, push Zangief out of the way because they're pretty much the same guy. It'd be an intense show.
Sounds like you're already directing the show there.
No, I should be because I've got all the ideas. I just need the props and I need the people.
Make it happen.
So, are you guys interested in being part of the show? Taylor can do lighting. Taylor's can do lighting, and Greg's going to be doing music. Greg's the sound mixer. But the problem is Greg doesn't have any music, so he's just making music in the microphone. He's just making sounds. He's trying to do the music from all these games that these characters are from. It'd be awesome. It'd be great.
I had to choose Altered Beast.
Yeah, sure. Bayou Billy would be a hard one. That's a pretty hard tune to break out. But Beefcakes, the adult entertainment for women, all men show.
No, you just have to come up with the female counterpart.
And this has unlimited buffet as well, so women can have as much food as they want to eat. And unlimited drinks once you pay to get in. Not sure who the bouncers are going to be. Probably some ridiculous characters.
Like some dude.
Yeah, like have a slime outside maybe, and I don't know, somebody who just wouldn't fit the bill at all. I'm not really sure who, but I don't know. Dawson? I don't know. Somebody who just seems so out of place. Just Dawson standing outside with one of those security T-shirts, trying to scare people off. Yeah, and then he'd breathe fire on them, and they wouldn't come back. So. I was going to put Karnov in here, but he's too busy doing his arm wrestling deal out in somewhere in Eastern Europe. So
it's Karnov. He can do two things at once.
That's true. He could satellite his show in, and it'd be like that Hatsune Miku type deal. So it'd be like this 3D thing of him dancing on stage and stuff. They'd be throwing coins at him, and they'd just be flying through him because it's just a hologram. But it'd be quite a place. I would definitely advise you guys to drop in if you have some spare time to check out Beefcakes. You guys got any beefcakes that should be in there? You guys are in awe. You don't have anything to say. Just...
No, my mind is not preoccupied by beefcakes, so
yes.
I've got to...
Dogi will show up.
I've got to scroll through the catalog there of things that I don't think about.
Yeah, and you can have some characters
that is one of them.
Earl kind of doesn't belong, but I kind of like Earl in there. He's just kind of fun. You can dance.
I'm still drawing a blank there.
Yeah. Well, if you think of something, bring it up for Beefcakes.
Yeah, I'll make it next meeting. I'll make sure to bring it up.
Yeah, bring some ideas to the table. or you're going to get fired from beefcakes. At least have the light show ready. Laser light show. I can just picture the laser light show for the Altered Beast dudes. It'd be great. There'd just be those cheesy 80s neon lights flying everywhere. It'd be awesome. And Taylor, you could have like the ghost head of that god. Is it Zeus, I guess? On his like, wise from your way. And how they come out just
you gotta like
rising from the ground.
Greg, you gotta remix that so it's just not straight up, wise from your way. It's gotta be wise from your way.
It'd be great. Have a few of those skeleton dude comes in just to get punch them down and stuff. It'd be awesome. Like, have that floating head dude. Who's the villain in that? That stupid demonic dude. He's got a name. I can't think of him.
Yeah,
whatever.
But you know what? We got to get Marlon Brando to bring those chicken lizard things in as well. For good measure.
Could do that. It is all about the men though. It's not so much about all the extra stuff.
What are we? Man, disrespectful little shitstorm. We're talking about deceased movie stars.
No, you're talking about deceased movie stars.
I know. Well, Sushi brought up Chris Farley, and I brought up Marlon Brando.
Out of respect, you're saying Marlon Brando, and you're talking about like the worst movie he's in, where he's like extremely overweight and out of shape and in poor health, and you're like, we got to bring Marlon Brando in here.
Well, because
it could be like, from The Godfather, or in a movie where he was young.
You tell me another movie where they spliced creatures and humans and blah.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of one. I know there's got to be a handful though.
Do not bring
Reanimator.
Alrighty.
Anyways, yeah. Throwing that back to you there, Taylor. Sorry for going off on beefcakes.
Well, speaking of beef, thought that it would be another one of those that just seems like it'd be perfect for Cooking Mama cooking show.
Yeah, I actually had a Cooking Mama cooking book. So
we can sell sell them while also promoting the show. And
sure.
I mean, seriously, it's a cooking show with somebody dressed up as like one of those freaky versions of like a chibi head Cooking Mama.
Oh.
And they don't talk at all. So,
ooh.
so,
you're trying to write down the recipe and you're just looking at what they're doing?
Yeah. So,
there's no instructions.
So yeah, it's outside of maybe they'll have like music from like the game or something. It doesn't talk at all, so it just peers into your soul as it's making some sort of.
Does the head move or anything, or is it just looking straight at you the whole time?
Straight at you the whole time.
Oh, creepy.
So yeah, it would give off like this creepy horror cooking show vibe.
you need one episode where it does the Exorcist head spin just to freak everyone out.
Then it flies at the screen. Rah!
But yeah, just kind of. I guess you could almost make it like if you wanted to make it a very kind of kid kind of thing, so you could do incredibly basic things like, this is how you make a salad,
Ants on a log.
You can also have the Cooking Mama sort of infomercials. The crab
with those crazy British dudes that are like, this knife can cut through anything, and you're just like,
that was surprisingly good.
So yeah,
mine was pretty serious though. I thought that you could actually make a really cutesy Cooking Mama hardcover cooking book that could probably sell really well if it had some very generic recipes, but then also including some very different ones that could be game inspired or not. I think this would sell, honestly, because it's got a really cutesy look to it. I think it could make some money.
Is it a pop-up book?
No.
A cooking book that's a pop-up book?
It's Cooking Mama.
It's got scratch and sniff, though.
I see.
The end. We're Cooking Mama.
And you smell. For that. It wouldn't be you see it, but you smell it. Ah, fuck it.
So yeah, I guess over to you, Kirk.
Alrighty, I'm gonna shoot through my last two. Very quickly, I've always wanted Monty Python and the Holy Grail to be a huge RPG or MMORPG, just because they show the maps and everything. It's like, this is a place that can be huge and wide, and it has the best journey music of all time. I love the theme to that movie. It's like, I want the entire game. I never get bored of listening to it while I'm just pretending to ride an invisible man through the lands. That's a skill you got to learn, by the way. It only increases your speed by 0.1%. But yes, and you got to fight killer rabbits and all that jazz. So I know it'd be really cool. The main last one I wanted to bring up, and this is another obscure one that I would love to actually see happen, and my favorite anime series, which incidentally is based off a fantasy book in Japan, which is 12 Kingdoms. Really, really good story, and I'd love to see that adapted into an RPG. A cel-shaded action RPG would be amazing. For all you know, 12 Kingdoms is about a story about a schoolgirl named Yoko who's destined to become an empress of one of the 12 empires, and she goes through hell to get there. People want to kill her left, right, and center, and she has this magic sword that wants to kill her from the inside in, because she can't control that well. So you've got those segments where you need to battle self within. It's a really good show, and I'd love to see it adapt into a really luscious cell shading action RPG. Would be really damn good. I mean, not only do I love the anime series, I've actually got some of the books as well, because it's a really damn good story.
Mm.
That's a more harder one than the Master Flying Guillotine to sort of get out there, because I've met too many people that's watched or read 12 Kingdoms, so, your best way, dear listeners, is Google. Google and you'll see what I'm talking about. And while you're at it, help Sushi out with his hard bodies.
Yes, get some more beefcakes, please. We need more.
Oh, well, beefcake, sorry. Yeah. And if you want to save it, do the female version.
Yeah, you could.
Because I preferably welcome that more. Oh dear. What have we become?
Call it queef cake.
I'm leaving that to you.
Oh God.
Is somebody interested? Yeah, I would think.
Oh. That's one for the ages, Taylor. People will remember this.
I hope not.
Quick cakes. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. So I'm done. Back to
Yeah.
Sushi.
All right, well, I'll fire off these last ones here and won't make too much comment on them. I had a Yakuza reality TV series following real Yakuza people, but set in the Yakuza game world, so it'd be completely out of their element, thinking that they knew what was going on, but they would have no idea because it would be set up like a sort of game show, sort of like a Big Brother type thing, but they would not realize that they were not actually in Tokyo. They would just believe they were. So it'd be very weird. I had Rocket Knight Adventures, 1980s or 1990s animated cartoon. It's very colorful, and it would be neat to see that world kind of expanded a little bit more. So I had that. I had Luigi's Late Night Lounge, which would be sort of like a Space Ghost type show featuring Luigi, where he would pretty much be drunk all the time. It would be they would animate Luigi, and he'd have sort of goofy interviews with maybe other Nintendo characters, but then also real actors and actresses and stuff.
Man, Space Ghost is way out there. If you're talking about shows that went over my head, Space Ghost is one of them. I sat down and it was one of those shows I could not comprehend.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a weird show, but funny at times. So I got Luigi's Late Night like that. It'd be a lot more interesting than those other shows that are on now. So I got that. Now this is a really bizarre one. This is the God of War Festival. And the God of War Festival is basically a festival where people get together and they try to purge some sort of animal that is destroying the local ecosystem. So whatever animal is sort of taking over, like maybe the Humboldt squid or something like that, that's sort of starting to destroy salmon or whatever. We turn a bunch of people into a bloodthirsty mob, and they go out and they try to destroy as many of these animals as possible to try to preserve their ecosystem. And whoever wins becomes the God of War. And there will be a lot of points involved in this. So if you catch so many of the animal, you get X number of points. But you also have to do it with some sort of flair or charisma. So if you're just kind of riding in your boat and you're just dressed casually, you might only get X amount of points. But if you're dressed up as Kratos and you've got chains and you're swinging them and you're destroying this animal, you might get a few more points. So.
And a hell of a lot of calls from Tita.
Yeah, I was
Well,
about
this
to
is
say,
for animals that are destroying the ecosystem that need to be sort of put into checks and balances. This wouldn't be just like, and today we're going to hunt something.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
It would be kind of
possibly.
But
then we send Kratos after them.
No, I was going to say the bonus round is when you get out of the festival and Peter's waiting there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there could be some blowback on that, but it's just a good idea. So, so there's that one. Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
I was going to say they have no brain, so they would definitely go for it.
I don't know if this exists, but a Phoenix Wright television series could work.
There's the Takashi Miike movie, and there's a musical, but no TV show.
I know there's a musical, but I didn't know if there was a television syndicate franchise or something. So it could work. Could be boring as hell for all I know too. There's that. Now this is a really strange one as well. I've got the Contra 3D helicopter experience, which would be you on a helicopter, and this would not be fake. It would be genetically mutated weird creatures that you could actually destroy. So you'd be flying around in a helicopter for 30 minutes at a time, and you get to destroy all these weird animals or something. They're not really animals. They're just some sort of weird creatures.
If you do the Konami, if you do the Konami code, do you get extended time?
No, you get nothing. You get thrown out.
Yeah, it
does the opposite effect. You lose.
Where if you put it in wrong, put in the code wrong, the ship just blows up.
Yeah, you lose. There's no Konami code in this one. So it's just again just a really stupid random idea. But it'd be cool to be flying on a helicopter with the Contra theme playing, just blasting out of it. Two more. I have the Fire Emblem live-action role-playing, which would be people dressed up in sort of cosplay, but doing a live-action role-play as the Fire Emblem characters. And I would love to be involved in this, and I would just cheat, and I would just be like some sort of ogre creature, and I would just start attacking everybody. So I don't know, maybe you guys can expand on that, because I don't know too many of the characters, but it could be amusing.
Dude, I'd get out, I'd have some fun, and I'd overact the fuck out of Garnet. I'd get my black robes, and I'd get the makeup, and be all asshole-y. And get stabbed by a fake.
Probably get stabbed by me, because I'm just going to be going, blah, blah, blah,
that means you'd have to be, that means you would have to be Marth, and you have to wear that tiara-like crown.
No, I'm going to be some sort of weird animal or something, animal man. No, there's no rules for me. I can do whatever I want.
No.
They can kill me and I'll keep going.
Then you'll be playing by yourself because
that's fine. That's all right. The first time they won't know, so it'll be amusing.
All of this is happening in your head now.
If this takes place in the English-speaking countries, you probably get a few just minor scrapes and bruises, probably nothing. But if you did this in Europe, you may not walk away from it.
The hardcore motherfucking Russian LARPers, those guys go all out.
Oh man, that video we watched, crazy.
Whatever. That brings me to my next point, though, and that is the Mike Tyson's Racism PSA, which will be available from a 70s viewpoint with those stupid American... What was that stupid one with the Bill of Rights or something? They'll be set up like that. We're going to have a... Yeah, except it's going to be in the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out theme, so there's going to be all the characters talking about how racism is bad.
Oh, man, I've never seen any of those PSAs. I mean, I think I've seen one where The Simpsons made fun of one, and that's how I sort of got the gist, where there was the Bill of Rights or something.
Mm.
Really bad song and dance.
Yeah. It'd be pretty funny to have that on there. Might be entertaining.
You wrapped up?
Yep.
All right. I have a couple more here. One that I have is from a game that probably nobody except for Greg here knows, and that's Rudra no Iho, Treasures of Rudra. It'd be kind of cool to see as a movie. I just the artwork that I've seen of it, just the kind of post-apocalyptic, but very heavy on very like the Kala Sutra, the Kala Sutra, and just a lot of the kind of old Vedic kind of religious influences and stuff. It'd be kind of cool to see brought up in a movie. I don't know, it doesn't. Those sort of kind of religious overtones seem to get. They don't. There's some here and there, but it seems to get pushed off to the side a bit. I think. I don't know what you guys think.
I reckon it'll be a cult classic.
Yeah.
It.
Yeah. Nobody will watch it except for like 5 people. Oh my god, it's so amazing. Another one I have on here is I too picked up Fire Emblem there, and I said that it'd be either interesting to see Fire Emblem as just like a book of Fire Emblem kind of thing. I know there are kind of some things similar to it, like manga style, but like a book, or a stage production of Fire Emblem, because it would totally work.
Yeah.
So work as some sort of stage production.
The Nintendo ads prove it.
yeah, exactly. Oh goodness.
Fire Emblem.
I think it'd be kind of cool like that. And then the last one I put on here, it would be for a children's kind of like educational TV show of Zelda and learning how to play music through different kind of little toy instruments and stuff. I guess nobody cares.
No. I'm just trying to think of something either clever or just to acknowledge it. Like, don't get Indigo to be on that show. No.
Oh,
No. It's going to be hosted by the Windmill. Oh my god, that's the best idea ever.
as he slowly spirals into a psychotic rage. It'd be kind of horrifying. Children straight out of music. But yeah, those are the ideas that I have. Finitoed. Finished. That's all she wrote. Well, that's all I wrote. That's it.
You brought us home.
I did. The end. Game over. But definitely, if you guys have any sort of games that you'd like to see in other sort of media or vice versa, some sort of a book that you read that you really liked that you thought would be pretty cool as a game, or a movie that you saw that would be pretty sweet as a game or something, or a show, and just definitely let us know. Yeah. Either you guys want to add something to that?
No, bring forth some ideas. If you guys got some wacky ones or even some really good ones.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. Good night.
Adios. No, we really mean it.
Yeah, well, what are we doing?
Well, I think you're taking us out.
No game or anything like that.
It's nearly going to be 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, next time. So, thanks for listening, guys, and have a good day.